Tonight, we continue our series on the opioid epidemic in the U.S. with a look at just how easy it can be for some addicts to obtain the drugs that enslave and perhaps ultimately kill them. Correspondent Doug McElway tonight on the dark web connection.
The thing that was most noticeable about him was his height and his smile. He always smiled.
But in the nation's battle with opioid addiction, William Dorhoff is now a statistic, another life lost in 2016 to a heroin overdose. As a freshman at the University of Arkansas, Will's problem began with prescription pill abuse, a trend that has become synonymous with the opioid epidemic. Fueling his addiction, Will purchased his poison online, and by the end of the year, he was hooked.
And they would crush the pills up and smoke them, or they would crush the pills up and inject them.
Will's problem came to a head in the summer of 2015 when his mother found him unconscious in his bedroom, barely clinging to life. Shortly after paramedics arrived, the family realized the severity of his addiction.
I looked around and there's a little piece of foil on the bed and in a little bitty plastic tube. And I'm like, what is this? And they all look at me, like it looks like heroin.
Will survived the overdose and spent the next year recovering. But in the fall of 2016, he relapsed. After failing to show up for work one day in October, the Dorhoffs were met with a phone call no parent ever wants to receive.
As a parent, you know what happened, and it just, there's just no way to describe. It's not really a pain that you feel. It's like you don't even know how to exist at that moment, because everything that you'd ever done your entire life, the entire meaning of your life really, which is to protect your children, had just been taken from you.
Will died on October 14, 2016, at the age of 20. Shortly after his passing, Scott and Shannon learned of how their son obtained his fatal dose of heroin through a purchase on the so-called dark web.
He literally sat down and ordered heroin off the computer, and they mailed it to the post office box.
In a startling trend that's sweeping the nation, users are turning to a hidden swath of cyberspace to feed their addictions. Not indexed by search engines like Google or Bing, the dark web's contents cannot be traced back to any one person, allowing individuals to carry out illegal activities and trade illicit goods anonymously.
Both the seller and the buyer can remain anonymous.
Chuck Cohen runs the Indiana State Police's Cyber and Intelligence Division. He likens criminal investigations that reach into the dark web to playing a game of digital whack-a-mole.
We're seeing not just heroin, but other opioids, ranging from fentanyl to carfentanil, Opana, and others that are being shipped with great regularity, where the purchase is happening in the dark web, the money transactions happen with the cryptocurrency, and the shipment is being concealed.
If the so-called dark web and cryptocurrencies sound like they may be out of reach for the unsophisticated internet user, think again. Simply visiting a website and downloading free software is more than half the battle. Popular add-ons like Tor allow users to mask their identities by automatically tapping their devices into a maze of servers planted all over the world, scrambling their true IP addresses in the process. Arguably, the most popular cryptocurrency in the world is Bitcoin, which trades freely over the internet. Most any user can transfer cash for Bitcoin by simply setting up a digital wallet through any number of online exchanges. Fox News saw firsthand just how simple a dark web drug deal actually is.
If I wanted to go in here and I wanted to buy a sampler pack of heroin, it's going to cost 0.021 Bitcoins. I click Buy Now. I'm going to log in, create an account. I can do it completely anonymously. Go to my wallet, I give them that, they debit it, and in theory, I'm going to get my heroin in the mail.
I can get it shipped to me in a child's toy, or in a computer, or in a box full of fruit, or whatever that might be, and I can continue to live this lifestyle, but nobody will know. But the person from somewhere, some global point around the world doesn't care about John Jones living in rural Indiana, do they? All they care about is a Bitcoin transaction and getting paid for what they do.
Still, law enforcement leaders say that curbing the epidemic begins with educating Americans about the dangers of prescription pill abuse, since 4 out of every 5 heroin addicts begins with pills, according to the DEA. For their part, Scott and Shannon Dorhoff are raising awareness. To honor their son, they started the William Christian Dorhoff Foundation and are sharing his story in the hopes that it will save lives.
Death is final. Our baby is no longer with us. But his message and his story is, and that's what we want to do. We want to be able to speak up and speak out and share, and the more people know, the more lives that are saved.
Doug McElway, Fox News.